Welcome to Stories in the Dark, a podcast about strange and creepy things. Come listen to the dark. This week's episode is called The Dead Girls. Just a reminder, if you're enjoying our podcast, please go ahead and leave us a rating and a review and click subscribe so that you'll always get the latest episode. The Dead Girls is more of a classic ghost story, the kind of story you might have heard around the campfire or told at slumber parties. It is a ghost story. Listen on to hear why the dead girls are haunting her. When the dead girls first appeared to her, she realized she knew them back when they were alive. When they went away, she didn't know why. When they came back again, the dead girls are talking to me again. They braid my hair and whisper secrets in my ear and prick me with their cold and stabby little fingers when they think I'm not listening, when I'm not paying attention, when my mind wanders from their tales of horror and woe back to the land of the living, the breathing, the warm. It's not our fault we're dead, they tell me, holding teddy bears or headless dolls or other less wholesome things. And it isn't. They act like nothing happened. They act like they hadn't gone away for a while. Don't think about it, they say, when my mind wanders back to my mother, my sisters, my friends at school. We're your friends, they yell and laugh and twirl and roll in the grass, twigs catching in their bloody hair and torn dresses. Play with us. And I do. I do. When the dead girls first came to me, I knew them right away. Girls whose faces had been on posters, on the news, their names on my parents' lips as they whispered in the kitchen when they thought we weren't listening. Little Chrissy from down the street, Anne from another school with her freckles and braids and skinned knees, JC and Ellen and others so far gone they didn't remember their own names, but someone did. Someone was missing them because someone else had taken them. They came to me at school, walking with me in the hallways and sitting with me in class. They came to me at the library, pushing me to look them up, telling me to know them. They all looked like me. They took me to their graves, spread out in the cemetery so I had to walk in the mud while the squirrels watched me and the crows circled overhead. I brought them flowers. I laid down on their graves and felt the cold earth on my legs. It was so quiet there, so cold, always colder inside than out. They wove petals in my hair while I built fairy houses out of sticks and moss and river stones. I liked it there in the cemetery with the dead girls, but sometimes other people would come, people crying or begging for the dead to talk to them. The girls always looked at them from the corners of their eyes and tugged me up and walked with me down the hill to my house. We'll keep you safe, they whispered coldly, their arms twining around me before I walked into my house. The dead girls never came into my house. I couldn't pay attention in class. The dead girls were always telling me outrageous stories, and I didn't care about anything else anymore. Whenever anyone tried to talk to me, the voices of the dead drowned them out, drowned like a small, pale face underwater. How come you never have your friends over anymore? My dad asked me one day, 2 months after the dead girls started to talk to me. I shrugged. My mom shooed him away. She's fine, let her be, and she gave me a cinnamon cookie. I went outside to talk to the dead girls, and we ran with the wind and left the sun behind as we sat under the biggest tree, the bark scratching my back and ants crawling towards my ankles, and we told each other awful stories. None of them as awful as what happened to the dead girls. It's not safe to be a girl, they told me that day, the day they stopped talking to me. With our soft hearts and soft parts, it's not safe. I shook my head. I didn't want to know. Come away with us, they asked. Come away with us, they insisted. I can't, I said. I loved the dead girls, but I wanted to stay, to grow up. We'll keep you safe, they cried. But I didn't listen. And then it happened to me. My bedroom door opening, the pain that went on too long, the blood. When it was done, I went away for a while. The dead girls stopped talking to me. Now I'm back, and the dead girls are talking to me again. It wasn't your fault, Callie, they whisper. You couldn't have known. I should have known. All the dead girls look like me. And now my fingers are cold and stabby too. My nightgown will always be torn. There will always be blood matting my hair. I watch my mother bring me flowers and set them on the ground. The dead girls hold my hands and look at my sisters, crying. My sisters who look like me. They look like me, I whisper to the dead girls, my voice faint, still new. The dead girls look at me, look through me, and their eyes are sad. I think about the living world now. The dead girls tell me not to. They want me to stay dead, too. But while I may look like them, I am not like them. They are calm and sad and sweet. I'm not sweet. I'm not calm. I'm angry. So I take the dead girls back to my house, the house they won't enter. I watch the monster that lives inside my house. I watch him start to notice my sisters. I ask the dead girls if there's anything I can do. We tried, they say. We tried with you. I walk up to the door. I go right through it. I look back at the dead girls and they are still outside, their eyes shining, their hands clenched at their sides or up at their mouths. Go, they call out to me. I am so angry, so angry. The world is fury and rage, and my tiny dead fingers are knives. I walk up to the bedroom door. I open it. The monster is sleeping inside next to my mother. She doesn't wake. Or if she does, she doesn't move as I walk over to his side of the bed. Wake up, I tell him, and when he does, I take his eyes. Those eyes that looked at me and the other dead girls, and now my sisters. I take other things too. The dead girls join me before I'm done, and when it's over, not all the blood on us is ours. The dead girls aren't afraid of monsters anymore.